On your Ignite News today, Mohawk College students are helping out a local theater in Ancaster.
Well, this particular group has seen the building inspector on site. This group of students has actually gone through the entire permitting process.
The Ontario Finals Rodeo came to the Ancaster Fairgrounds. And an anti-racism activist and author inspires people to come together rather than discriminate.
I would say reach out and meet with racists. Meet with those people who you perceive to be racist. Find out why they're racist. What is it that they fear? What are their goals? Sit down and talk with them.
All this and more coming up now.
Good morning and welcome to your Ignite News for Tuesday, March 26th. I'm Alicia Gallant.
And I'm Chelsea Kaufman. Here's what's making news. Nearly 300 young Aboriginals arrived on Parliament Hill Monday at the end of a 1,500-kilometer walk for the Idle No More movement. The marchers expected some acknowledgement from the Prime Minister, but to their disappointment, Harper was otherwise occupied. Instead of greeting the marchers, Prime Minister Harper was in Toronto to greet a pair of pandas on loan from China. Instead, the young people were greeted by Aboriginal Affairs Minister Bernard Valcourt.
I thought we were keeping up the graphic. Toronto Mayor Rob Ford is being urged to go to rehab for alcohol abuse. In February, Ford was asked to leave the Toronto Garrison Ball because the organizers of the event were concerned that he was too intoxicated. This was not the first complaint of Ford being impaired. 2 weeks before the ball, a Toronto woman had accused him of groping her at a Jewish political group's event and claimed that he was, quote, out of it.
Inspirational author and activist Daryl Davis was a guest lecturer at this year's Gandhi Peace Festival. Ignite News reporter Noah Salo has the story.
Daryl Davis is more than just a great piano player. He is also an anti-racism activist and author. Davis uses the nonviolent strategies of Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. to develop relationships of mutual respect with racist people.
I would say reach out and meet with racists. Meet with those people who you perceive to be racist. Find out why they're racist. What is it that they fear? What are their goals? Sit down and talk with them. And then in doing so again, they will give you the opportunity to explain your position. And that's how we build. Because when two people from opposite ends are talking, they are not fighting.
Davis befriended members of the KKK while writing a book about them. Several have since left the organization, giving Davis their robes. Hamilton Community Foundation President Terry Cook invited Davis to participate in the Mahatma Gandhi lectures on nonviolence during the annual Gandhi Peace Festival.
Daryl's life is a story of insight, of courage, of dialogue, and really epitomizes in many ways the things that Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Martin Luther King talked about, which was nonviolent resistance. And so his story, his book, his music are things that bind us together.
Daryl Davis shows us the spirit of Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. in his nonviolent conflict resolutions. Communication and friendship are the keys to changing hearts and minds. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Noah Salo.
If you've been logging onto your Mocomotion regularly, you'll have seen an invitation to complete a student feedback survey on teaching. I had a look into why more students should start their survey now. Many students have hectic schedules, and the last thing that some may want to do is complete another survey. The benefits and the purpose of the student feedback surveys are often lost in all the craziness of tests, assignments, and exams. Vice President of Academics Cheryl Jensen sends out invitations every year for students to complete their customized surveys. She is a strong believer in the impact the feedback has on future teaching methods.
The relationship between our teachers and our students is so special, and I'll tell you that the feedback that we get is so positive. I think it's really nice and rewarding for our teachers to hear what a good job they've done with their students over the term.
Sean Isles is a sociology and environmental sustainability professor at Mohawk, and he appreciates the feedback that he has received during his career.
Teaching is a learning experience, just like anything else, right? So you're not just instantly good at it. And there's some times when, you might be off or teaching something new, especially with online education.
Many students have mixed feelings about the survey and whether or not it's an effective tool.
I did it last semester. I didn't do it this semester because I'm absent-minded.
I think to let teachers know what you think, yes, but in terms of actually changing what they do, probably not.
I think it's a great tool, and I think all the students should be doing it.
Sean Isles ensures that teachers do take the feedback into consideration.
It's important for students to take seriously, and I think that a lot of students need to understand that we do see the feedback and we do see their comments.
Students can log on to Mocomotion using their smartphone, their tablet, or their laptops in order to complete the survey. The deadline has been extended to April 1st in order to give students more time. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Alicia Gallant. While students at Mohawk gear up to fill out their feedback survey, we asked you who your favorite teacher is on campus.
My favorite teacher goes by the name of Andrew Paulson. He's an accounting teacher here. He's just very lenient with the students. He gives great direction with his lessons.
So my favorite teacher is Sam Cook. She knows what to do in class. Like, she's cool.
My favorite teacher would be Mrs. Wendy Fisher. She is very caring. She goes out of her way to make her students feel welcome and safe, and she goes above and beyond the call of duty. She got us job interviews when we're just about to graduate, and I think that she really, all in all, is just one of the best instructors I've ever had.
Let's take a look at what's coming up in weather, entertainment, and sports.
Spring is on its way. More coming up on weather later.
Coming up on entertainment, the prehistoric comedy The Croods is #1 in the box office, and Justin Timberlake's new album is selling more than expected. All this and more on your Ignite Entertainment.
Still missing 2 of their star players, the Senators keep us proud, and Ignite reporter Teresa Friesen goes to the rodeo. That and more coming up in Ignite Sports.
Here's a look back at today's top stories. Toronto Mayor Rob Ford is being urged to go to rehab for alcohol abuse. Prime Minister Harper was in Toronto to greet a pair of pandas on loan from China. And author and activist Daryl Davis was a guest lecturer at this year's Gandhi Peace Festival.
Looks like some clouds are in our forecast. Let's check in with Casey for your weather update.
Today in Hamilton, we'll see sun and cloud with a temperature of 8 degrees. Up in Toronto, it's cloudy with mixed precipitation and 7 degrees. Niagara Falls will also be sunny with some cloud and 5 degrees. London can expect 4 degrees with sun and cloud. In Windsor, there will be, you guessed it, sun and cloud, and it will be 4 degrees. Over the next 24 hours, you will see sun and cloud this evening, and it will be 7 degrees. Overnight, it'll stay partly cloudy and will drop to 4. Tomorrow morning, it should brighten up a bit with sun and cloud. Temperature will be -1 degree. Now over the next 5 days, on Wednesday, it'll be sun with cloud with a chance of flurries. We'll see a high of 5, low of -2. Thursday will show a mix of sun and cloud. We can expect a low of -2 and high of 6. Friday, we'll see a high of 6 and low of -4. Saturday, we'll have sun and cloud and a high of 7 and low of -3. And finally, on Sunday, we'll see sun and cloud with a chance of flurries, a high of 7 and low of 1. That's all from me with your weather. Now let's head on over to Noah with your entertainment update.
Casey, the 3D caveman comedy The Croods debuted at the top of the box office this weekend, making $44 million. The cast includes such heavy hitters as Nicolas Cage and Emma Stone. The Croods is currently the only animated family film in theaters. The Old Fire Hall Art Centre is receiving some much-needed renovations after getting a large grant from the Ontario Trillium Foundation. Scott Summerhays has more.
Coupled with the grant application to renovate, Theatre Ancaster was also given the option of having Mohawk College students complete the project. The project was priced at approximately $80,000, just under $75,000 of which was given by the Ontario Trillium Foundation. Brad McDonald, the building renovation coordinator at Mohawk, says Theatre Ancaster is saving a lot of money.
Typically this renovation would probably top out just over 130,000. So they get a lot better value for going with us.
Just shy of 100 first and second year building and renovation students are taking part in the project, getting real-world experience outside of the classroom.
Well, this particular group has seen the building inspector on site. This group of students has actually gone through the entire permitting process, the design process for the renovation. And it's also a big job for my 4 students that are the leads in this project.
Pete Kershaw is the leader of the team leaders and says that the rewards of this project will look great for him in the future.
The classroom's great, the theory's great, the shop's great, but to do a project like this where it's real life, real experience, you can't beat it.
However, the project has not been perfect. The students have run into some unexpected hiccups that have set them back a little. But McDonald says that experience is just as valuable as the rest.
It's learning the things that often happen on a renovation that I try to describe in the class, and these guys are getting to see it firsthand.
While the project was scheduled to be complete by this Friday, McDonald says it will probably be closer to the following Wednesday. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Scott Summerhays.
Justin Timberlake's new album, The 2020 Experience, has debuted as the fastest-selling record of 2013. Billboard estimates the album could sell between 950,000 to 1 million copies in its first week. If it does hit 1 million, it will be only the 19th album to do so since 1991. Now let's take a look at what's happening around campus.
Hi Mohawk, I'm Casey Wren with the Community Calendar. Stress Busters invites students to walk their stress away with 10,000 steps a day. From April 1st to 5th, students can keep track of their steps for a chance to win prizes. An etiquette dinner is coming up on April 4th at Carmen's Hotel. It's $10 per person to attend, starts at 6 and ends at 9. Directions are available on Mohawk's website. An open house will be taking place at Fennel Campus on April 6th. It starts at 9 o'clock a.m. and ends at 1 o'clock p.m. That's all for me. Now back to the newsroom.
And that's a wrap for entertainment. Let's head over to Scott for your sports update.
Noah, in the NHL, the Toronto Maple Leafs started the game well, working up to a 2-0 lead in the second period, but the Boston Bruins got on the board when Mila Lucic scored the first. Patrice Bergeron tied it up for the Bruins with 9 minutes left. The Bruins went on to win in the shootout. The shootout winner was scored by Bergeron. And the depleted Ottawa Senators continue to impress as they took down the New Jersey Devils 3-2 in a shootout. Mika Zibanejad scored the shootout winner for the Sens, who are now 6-2-2 in their last 10 games. It was the Devils' first game without their star player, Ilya Kovalchuk, who is expected to miss 2 to 4 weeks nursing a shoulder injury. And there were some bumpy rides in Ancaster this weekend. The Ontario Finals Rodeo took place. Our own rodeo specialist, Teresa Friesen. Teresa, I see you're still dressed for the part. What can you tell us about the festivities at the fairgrounds?
Well, Scott, I had a chance to watch some of the best cowboys in the country as they strutted their stuff to try to win a championship. The Ontario Finals Rodeo rode its way onto the Ancaster Fairgrounds this weekend as rodeo fans got their fill of bulls, broncs, and barrels. Barrel racer Mandy Peidel is a rookie on the circuit this year.
I've been barrel racing for almost my whole life, ever since I was little, but I just got into rodeo this year.
Bull rider Nick Gonzalez has been riding bulls since he was 15.
It's really hard to explain what it's like to be on the back of a bull, and when you hear that buzzer go, I mean, you feel like the king.
The bull riders will be riding bulls like these that can weigh from 1,400 to 2,000 pounds.
Competitors say the adrenaline rush is one of their favorite parts of competing.
The adrenaline rush. It's crazy when you're running up that chute. You get like an amazing feeling.
An awesome adrenaline rush, and I just love doing it. I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
Joe Scully is the Ontario Rodeo Association president and rodeo announcer. He says the rodeo keeps us in tune with our agricultural roots.
Rodeo is a great celebration of like our agricultural roots. Like the sport's been around since the 1800s, and as the world moves away from an agricultural climate and more into an urbanized like workplace and living space, we really need events like rodeo, horse racing to really keep in tune with Mother Nature and farmers. And with rodeo, it's got great family values. It's a family sport. You have fathers, daughters, sons competing together against each other, with each other, traveling with each other. So we really have we have a message of family, history, and great nostalgia with our sport.
The crowd couldn't get enough of the weekend's events, and some participants just didn't want to go home. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Teresa Friesen.
And that's all for your sports. Let's pass it back to Alicia and Chelsea at the news desk.
Some bald eagles nesting in Coots Paradise are now the proud parents of 2 eaglets after years of trying. The 2 baby eagles would be the first to grace Lake Ontario in decades. According to the Royal Botanical Gardens officials, the babies were born this past weekend.
And that's all for your news for Tuesday, March 26th. I'm Alicia Gallant.
And I'm Chelsea Kaufman. For more news coverage, check out our website at ignitenews.ca. Thanks for watching, Mohawk.